Guys, there are tons of open world games out there, but which ones are the most unique? Which ones offer worlds that truly stand apart from the rest? Maybe this list won't include the best game in each franchise, but it will include the most different. The ones that broke away from the usual formula, where most open world games tend to feel like more of the same. I've selected 18 open world games that are the most unique and different. No fluff, no fanboying, let's get straight to the list.
Number 1, No Man's Sky. All right, kicking this list off with something that, let's be honest, had a rough launch, but has since become the poster child for redemption stories. No Man's Sky. You want to talk about unique? Forget a single open world, this game hands you a procedurally generated universe. That scale is just bonkers. I remember my first jump through a black hole, landing on a planet with giant, glowing mushroom trees, and thinking, okay, this is what different feels like. The gameplay loop itself is what sets it apart. It's not about following a rigid path. It's about survival, exploration, and crafting. You're constantly managing your resources, keeping your life support charged, and fixing up your ship. It's got that chill, almost meditative grind to it, until a giant space pirate decides your hard-earned chrominance is his. For me, the perfection of this open world is the sheer impossibility of seeing it all. Every time I play, I stumble upon a new alien race, a busted-up freighter I can salvage, or a planet with truly bizarre fauna. It's a sandbox where the entire galaxy is your playground. What didn't I love? Early on, the grind was painful. Like, punching rocks for hours painful. But Hello Games has smoothed so much of that out. Now it's less of a chore and more of an endless cosmic road trip. If you haven't jumped in since the major updates, you are seriously missing out on the most vast open world experience ever created. It's a total vibe check for the genre. 2. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Next up, we've got Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, it's just another Ubisoft map. Hold up, give me a second. What makes Wildlands unique is its setting, and more importantly, the freedom of approach. Santa Blanca's Bolivia is the real star here. It's not just a backdrop, it's a living, breathing narco state. You've got arid deserts, dense jungles, snowy mountains, and high-altitude salt flats, all woven together seamlessly. Unlike other military shooters that put you on a linear path, this game drops you into this massive country and says, there's the cartel. Go dismantle it however you see fit. The gameplay is all about tactical co-op, even if you're playing solo with the AI squad. I absolutely love how every mission objective can be tackled from 5 different angles. You can roll in with an armored vehicle, rappel from a helicopter at night, or snipe every dude from a mile away on a hilltop. My favorite authentic experience was one time when my buddy and I spent 20 minutes scouting a base, only for a random rebel patrol to roll through and start a massive firefight, turning our stealth op into a chaotic rescue mission. That kind of unscripted chaos is what makes the open world perfect. The one thing that always slightly bugged me was the story. It's there, but it's kind of thin and repetitive. I wasn't really invested in the why as much as I was invested in the how. How are we going to blow up this cocaine lab today? But honestly, the sheer scale and the tactical flexibility make this one of the freshest open world maps I've ever played. It's a must-play if you like military sandboxes. 3. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Okay, now let's talk about a game that completely changed the flavor of a massive franchise, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. When this game came out, I was so burnt out on the AC formula, but pirates? Pirates! The open world of Black Flag isn't a city, it's the Caribbean Sea. And man, is it glorious. Forget rooftop parkour. The true exploration is sailing your ship, the Jackdaw, across the shimmering blue, spotting a distant island, and just heading straight for it. This isn't just about fast travel, it's about the journey. What makes it unique is the naval combat and exploration. Hearing your crew sing a shanty while you're chasing down a Spanish galleon is peak gaming. The sense of progression, upgrading your ship, hiring better sailors, and then taking on legendary ships, that's an authentic feeling of power. Edward Kenway is an awesome protagonist, too. A charming, self-serving pirate who just so happens to get caught up in the assassin Templar nonsense. He felt so much more human and relatable than some of the more stoic assassins. The world is perfect because it balances the open sea with dense, small pockets of land. You get the epic scale of sailing, then you land in Havana or Nassau and get that traditional AC feel, followed by diving for sunken treasure or harpooning whales. It's a world of pure adventure. If I had to complain about one thing, it's that sometimes the required stealth missions on land felt jarring and clunky compared to the smooth sailing and ship battles. It's like the game briefly remembered it was an Assassin's Creed game and tried to pull you back from being a total badass pirate. But overall, it's the best pirate game ever made, full stop. 4. Far Cry Primal. Next on the list is a game that took the Far Cry blueprint and totally threw it back to the Stone Age. Far Cry Primal. This one is often overlooked, but for pure uniqueness in an open world, it deserves a spot. Look, it's still Far Cry. You're capturing bonfires instead of radio towers, and you're fighting Udum and Azilla tribes instead of crazed modern-day villains. But the entire environment changes the game. Suddenly, your best weapon is a spear or a bow, and the biggest threat isn't an outpost full of dudes with AKs, it's a saber-toothed tiger or a woolly mammoth ambushing you in the middle of the night. The unique thing here is the Beast Master mechanic. Taming animals and having them as your companions, that's what makes this world shine. Having a cave bear bodyguard or soaring through the sky with your owl companion to scout an enemy camp is just ridiculously cool. It forces you to think differently. You're not just a soldier, you're a primal survivalist. The map, Oros, is perfect because it feels genuinely hostile and wild. Everything wants to kill you. I had one moment where I was being chased by a pack of wolves, climbed a cliff to escape, and literally came face to face with a massive cave lion. It was pure panic and adrenaline. That sense of truly being at the bottom of the food chain is something most open world games totally miss. My biggest gripe, the lack of weapon variety. I get it, it's the Stone Age, but after a while, throwing the same few spears and shooting the same bow can get a little repetitive. But for taking a well-worn genre and flipping the script by removing all modern convenience and giving us animal companions, Primal is absolutely one of the most unique open worlds out there. 5. Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, let's talk about pure fantasy wish fulfillment. Hogwarts Legacy. Listen, I know Harry Potter has been around forever, but for me, this game nailed the open world experience in a way I didn't think was possible. The uniqueness isn't just the magic, it's the fact that the Hogwarts castle and its surrounding highlands feel like a genuinely magical place to exist. It's not just a big map full of icons. Exploring the castle, finding those secret classrooms, running into a headless hunt, or discovering a hidden path behind a tapestry, it felt like I was actually there. The gameplay perfectly integrates magic and exploration. You're not just walking around. You're casting spells to solve environmental puzzles, soaring on a hippogriff across the Scottish countryside, or brewing potions in the Room of Requirement. The combat is fluid and spectacular, making you feel like a powerful young wizard right from the jump. Where this open world truly shines is the verticality and detail of Hogwarts itself. It's perfect because every corner tells a story. I spent hours just wandering, forgetting the main quest entirely. My only small critique, the main protagonist, your custom character, sometimes felt a little bland compared to the amazing world they built around them. I wanted more personal drama. But honestly, riding my broomstick over the Black Lake, pure, unadulterated magic. If you're a fan of immersive worlds, this is an absolute must. 6. Death Stranding. Alright, get ready for a total curveball, because Death Stranding is the most unique open world game on this whole list, period. Hideo Kojima basically invented a new genre, the Strand game. The premise is insane. You are Sam Porter Bridges, and your job is to reconnect a fractured post-apocalyptic America by delivering packages. Sounds boring? Trust me, it's not. The open world, a scarred and desolate America, is the actual star and the biggest obstacle. You're fighting the terrain itself. Every step is a calculated decision. How will I cross this river? Do I need a ladder? A bridge? The gameplay loop revolves around infrastructure building and pathfinding. I found myself completely addicted to perfecting my delivery routes and helping other players by leaving behind useful gear or roads. What makes it unique is the sense of isolation mixed with the multiplayer connection. The feeling of battling a BT or a mule camp, then finally reaching your destination and hearing that little chime, it's the most rewarding feeling in gaming. It's perfect because it forces you to slow down and appreciate the journey. What didn't I love? The sheer amount of cutscenes and exposition, especially at the start. It's Kojima, right? You have to wade through a lot of weird lore. But once you embrace the slow, deliberate pace of the traversal, it becomes a mesmerizing and truly original open-world experience. It's a game about connection, and it hits deep. 7. Watch Dogs 2. Next up, let's talk about bringing the open world into the modern age with Watch Dogs 2. Forget the gritty, dull vibe of the first one. This game totally shifted gears and gave us a vibrant, hyper-connected San Francisco Bay Area. The uniqueness is the hacking. This isn't just a side activity, it's your main weapon. The entire open world is your sandbox. Being able to hack literally anyone's phone, cause traffic pileups, or remotely control drones and forklifts to complete missions, that level of systemic interaction is what truly sets it apart. It turns every encounter into a complex puzzle. San Francisco is perfect for this. The atmosphere is light, colorful, and full of life. You've got the tech scene, the counterculture, and the beautiful geography. Marcus Holloway is an awesome protagonist too. Witty, smart, and part of the Dead Set crew that genuinely feels like a group of tech rebels fighting the man. Their chemistry is fantastic. My favorite authentic experience was hacking a security camera on a high-rise, daisy-chaining to another, and triggering a gang turf war just to create a distraction so I could walk right into a restricted area. It's all about creating chaos through code. If I had to pick a flaw, sometimes the driving physics felt a little too arcadey for such a grounded world, but that's a minor thing. Watch Dogs 2 is the game that finally delivered on the promise of a true, interactive, hackable open-world sandbox. It's a blast. 8 Days Gone. Rounding out this segment, we've got Days Gone, a game that took the familiar zombie apocalypse setting and gave it a totally new, terrifying twist in the beautiful, rugged open world of Oregon. The uniqueness here is all about the hordes. These aren't just small groups of slow walkers, we're talking hundreds of freakers swarming you at once. Facing your first 300-strong horde is a pure panic moment and a true test of your resourcefulness. That mechanic alone elevates the survival loop dramatically. The Oregon setting is perfect. The vast forests, snowy peaks, and burnt-out towns create a hauntingly beautiful backdrop for the mayhem. As Deacon St. John, you're always riding your trusty bike, which is practically a character itself. Motorcycle maintenance and fuel management are woven into the gameplay, making the open world feel big and often dangerous. It gives you an authentic feeling of being a true lone survivor. The gameplay is a fantastic mix of stealth, crafting, and explosive action, especially when you're setting up traps for those massive hordes. Deacon's story is surprisingly emotional and grounded, dealing with loss and brotherhood. What didn't click for me initially was how slow the story ramped up. It takes its time, which can feel a little draggy when all you want to do is fight more freakers. But once that story hits its stride and you start tackling those mega hordes, Days Gone offers a unique, visceral, and beautifully grim open-world survival experience. It's an underrated gem, hands down. Number 9, Immortals Fenyx Rising. Let's switch gears completely and talk about Immortals Fenyx Rising. This game is often called Ubisoft's Zelda, and honestly, that's a compliment when you consider how fun and vibrant it is.
The unique appeal here is the lighthearted, comedic take on Greek mythology. The entire map, the Golden Isle, is this stunningly colorful, stylized world narrated by Prometheus and Zeus, who are constantly bickering. That running commentary alone makes the exploration feel totally unique and hilarious. The gameplay is all about exploration and puzzle solving. You're not just clearing bandit camps, you're flying around with Daedalus's wings, solving physics-based puzzles in the vaults of Tartarus and wrestling with massive mythological beasts. The world is perfect because it constantly rewards your curiosity with a new puzzle, a cheeky quip, or a piece of gear. I love the combat system. It's fast, flashy, and really satisfying. Using god powers like Ares' wrath and Heracles' strength, it makes Fenyx feel like a true demigod. My one small issue, maybe the sheer volume of puzzles can feel a little much sometimes. You just want to smash things, you know? But for an open world that manages to be both epic in scale and genuinely funny, Immortals Fenyx Rising is a breath of fresh air. It's a total charm offensive for the genre.
10. Cyberpunk 2077. Next up, we have a game that defines high-tech open world, Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, we all remember the launch issues, but post-patch, this is a masterpiece, and Night City is the real star. What makes this world unique is the density and verticality. It's not just a big flat map, it's layered. You've got soaring skyscrapers, grimy underpasses, packed alleyways, and corporate high-rises, all existing within the same footprint. Walking through the crowded streets of Japantown or Westbrook, you feel the constant, overwhelming energy of this future metropolis. The gameplay is deeply personal. It's about player choice and role-playing. You can be a stealthy netrunner, a heavy-duty solo, or a quick-talking corpo, and the game genuinely adapts to your style. My most authentic experience was spending an hour just exploring the hidden markets and bars, completely forgetting the main mission. It's that immersive. Night City is perfect because it oozes atmosphere. The vibrant neon, the flying cars, the constant sense of danger. It's everything I dreamed of in a dystopian future setting. The minor drawback even now is that sometimes the police AI can still be a little wonky. But seriously, plugging into the net, taking on gigs with V and Johnny Silverhand, the story is dark, compelling, and gives the most unique setting in the modern open world genre. If you haven't played the Phantom Liberty expansion, you're missing the best version of this incredible city.
Hope you find something useful.
11. Monster Hunter Wilds. Now let's talk about a game with one of the biggest and most unique worlds on this entire list, Monster Hunter Wilds. The franchise has always worked with separated zones, right? But Wilds is here to change everything with a massive, fully seamless open world. No more loading screens while you chase a monster. Now you can track an elder dragon across kilometers of living, dynamic terrain. The big difference here is how the environment reacts to the hunt. Imagine fighting a brute wyvern when suddenly a huge sandstorm starts swallowing everything, changing the monster's behavior and nearly blinding you. Or exploring the savannah, mounted on your seeker, noticing an entire ecosystem functioning right before your eyes. The core remains the same: deep, challenging combat and the infinite loop of hunting and crafting. But doing all of this in a true open world completely transforms how we hunt, track, and even plan each encounter. It's the first time Monster Hunter truly puts the wilds into practice. And they nailed the biome variety. It's not just desert and grasslands, there's diverse climate and wildlife everywhere. Monsters actually interact and move freely across the map, making this potentially the most immersive Monster Hunter ever made. You need to play it, because this game didn't just redefine the franchise, it redefined the entire open world action genre.
See what else is going on.
12. Red Dead Redemption. Time for a classic that absolutely defined an era of open-world gaming, the original Red Dead Redemption. Look, RDR2 is technically a better game, but the first one delivered the most unique feeling at the time. The uniqueness is the sheer loneliness of the frontier. You're John Marston, a rugged former outlaw, forced to track down his old gang in this massive, beautiful, and dangerous slice of the American West. The map, New Austin, Nuevo Paraíso, and West Elizabeth, feels genuinely vast and untamed. The gameplay loop of riding your horse, getting into random shootouts, hunting and dealing with moral choices, the honor system, it all creates this incredibly authentic Western experience. My favorite thing was just galloping across the desert at sunset, spotting a distant town and feeling like the only person for 100 miles. That sense of isolation is perfect. John Marston is an iconic protagonist. His dry wit, his struggle for redemption, and his dedication to his family make his journey one of the most compelling stories in the entire genre. If I have to be critical, some of the mission design felt a little repetitive, especially those early go here, shoot that missions. But man, the atmosphere, the duels, the iconic ending, it defined the open world Western. Red Dead Redemption set the standard for immersive storytelling in a vast, dusty sandbox. A true legend.
"13. Mad Max." All right, let's slam the gas pedal and talk about Mad Max. For pure atmosphere and dedication to a post-apocalyptic theme, this open world is absolutely unmatched. The uniqueness is the car combat. The wasteland isn't just a place you walk through, it's a place you drive through, and your vehicle, the magnum opus, is your life. The gameplay loop of scavenging for scrap, upgrading your armor, and strapping on better weaponry, it's all centered around survival on 4 wheels. The visceral feeling of ramming a rival vehicle and watching it explode, pure satisfaction. The vast, dusty, and hostile open world is perfect because it really sells the desperation. You're constantly fighting for water and fuel, which makes every supply run a genuinely tense experience. Max himself is a silent, brutal protagonist, and his isolation feels authentic in this world of war boys and scavengers. I really appreciate how the map mechanics tie into the theme. Instead of radio towers, you're using a hot air balloon, and clearing enemy camps always involves a cool mix of on-foot brawling and demolition. My main hang-up? The on-foot melee combat got a little repetitive compared to the incredible car chaos. But honestly, for an open-world experience that perfectly captures the gritty, violent heart of the Mad Max universe, this game delivers in spades. It's a road warrior fantasy brought to life.
14. Horizon Zero Dawn. Next, we're jumping to the future and getting Primal with Horizon Zero Dawn. This game took me completely by surprise with one of the most compelling and unique open worlds I've ever explored. The uniqueness is the blend of tribal society and futuristic machinery. You're exploring breathtaking natural landscapes, lush forests, snowy mountains, and red deserts. But everywhere you look, giant, beautiful machine beasts are roaming like living metallic dinosaurs. That juxtaposition is just stunning. The gameplay is a masterclass in tactical combat and hunting. Aloy is an awesome protagonist, fierce, curious, and a fantastic hunter. Figuring out the weaknesses of a Thunderjaw or a Stormbird, setting traps and stripping off their armor plates piece by piece with your bow and spear, that strategic depth is fantastic. The open world is perfect because it constantly begs the question, what happened here? The mystery surrounding the old ones and the origins of the machines is woven into the environment. Every ruined building or abandoned bunker you find just pulls you deeper into the lore. If I have one tiny complaint, it's that sometimes the sheer number of side activities felt a little overwhelming, but hey, that's a small price to pay for such a rich world. Horizon Zero Dawn gives us a singular vision, a beautiful post-apocalyptic playground where nature has fought back and giant robots are king. Go play it.
15. Ghost of Tsushima. Let's slow down and talk about the breathtaking beauty of Ghost of Tsushima. This game isn't just an open world, it's a living, playable samurai film. The unique factor here is the minimalist UI and the cinematic guidance.
Forget mini-maps, you're using the guiding wind, a genius mechanic where the wind literally points you towards your objective. Following the wind, seeing the autumn leaves fly past, or spotting a golden bird leading you to a hidden shrine, it makes the exploration feel organic and completely immersive. The island of Tsushima is perfect because it's a visual masterpiece. It's the most beautiful open world I've ever experienced, transitioning from colorful fields of flowers to misty bamboo forests. The combat is phenomenal too. Switching between samurai stance and the stealthy ghost style gives you amazing flexibility, and the standoffs are the coolest duels in gaming, period. The story of Jin Sakai's transformation from honorable samurai to the pragmatic ghost is deeply compelling. The game does an incredible job of making you feel the weight of his decisions and the honor of the warrior code. My only critique is that the enemy variety sometimes felt a little limited, especially considering the length of the game. But that's minor. Ghost of Tsushima is a stunning, unique achievement that delivers a seamless blend of incredible combat, cinematic storytelling, and a world so beautiful it makes you want to stop and take photos every 5 minutes.
16. Skyrim. Alright, we can't talk unique open worlds without bowing down to the absolute heavyweight champion, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I mean, come on, this game is practically a cultural phenomenon. The uniqueness of Skyrim isn't just its size, it's the systemic freedom and emergent storytelling. You can start off following the main quest, and then 2 hours later, you're the leader of the Thieves Guild, a master alchemist, or married to some random dude in Whiterun. The game genuinely lets you be whoever you want to be. The world of Skyrim, the frosty peaks, the ancient Nordic ruins, the bustling cities, the literal dragons flying overhead is perfect because it feels like a dense, lived-in fantasy history. Every cave, every dungeon, every crumbling fort seems to have its own little story waiting for you to uncover. The gameplay is all about that unrestricted exploration. I can't tell you how many times I've walked past a mountain, thought, can I climb that? And spent the next 20 minutes proving that, yes, I absolutely can. That sense of freedom is why people still play it today. What didn't I love? Okay, we have to mention the bugs. This game is famously buggy, even today, but honestly, sometimes those glitches just add to the legendary chaos. Skyrim is the gold standard for pure, magical, unrestricted open-world role-playing, and it's truly one of a kind.
17. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. Switching to something completely different and totally unexpected. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, this game is so much more than a typical open-world crime game. It's a deep dive into Hong Kong action cinema. The uniqueness is the setting, Hong Kong. The island is densely packed, vibrant, and incredibly atmospheric. You're playing as Wei Shen, an undercover cop infiltrating the Triads, which immediately gives the open world a unique tension. Every corner of the city, from the bustling night markets to the peaceful temples, feels authentic and alive. The gameplay is a fantastic mix, but the martial arts combat is what truly sets it apart. Forget shooting. The hand-to-hand combat is fast, brutal, and incredibly satisfying, often utilizing environmental finishers. My most authentic moments involved getting into a foot chase, leaping onto a boat, and taking out gangsters with flawless kung fu. The world is perfect because of that visual density and speed. Driving through those neon-soaked streets at night while listening to the in-game radio stations is peak open-world immersion. My only slight issue was that the gunplay felt a little less polished than the spectacular melee combat, but honestly, for delivering an unparalleled cinematic experience rooted in a truly unique setting, Sleeping Dogs is an absolute must-play and often overlooked gem. It's the open-world game Hong Kong deserves.
Let's stick together.
18. Fallout 4. And finally, to cap off the main list, we have the king of post-nuclear exploration, Fallout 4. I've spent more hours in the Commonwealth than I care to admit, and it's because this open world offers something fundamentally unique. The uniqueness lies in the base building and the scavenging loop. The world of post-war Boston isn't just a map you explore, it's a giant, dangerous scrap heap you can rebuild. The gameplay revolves around constantly managing your junk and resources to power up settlements. That drive to find a desk fan just to get that single piece of screws, that's pure addictive Fallout. The Commonwealth is perfect because it's a dense layer of history and danger. Every collapsed house, every super mutant camp, every ghoul-infested subway tunnel tells a story about the world before the bombs fell. It's got that chilling blend of 1950s Americana mixed with horrifying nuclear devastation. The combat is awesome, blending real-time shooting with a strategic slowdown of the VATS system. And the companions? Dogmeat and Nick Valentine are amazing, and they add so much personality to your solitary journey. My one nitpick, which is minor, is that sometimes the main storyline didn't give enough room for the more organic emergent stories of the Wasteland. But when you're customizing a power armor suit and strolling through a raider camp, few games feel more authentically unique. It's a brilliant, haunting sandbox. And that's it, folks. 18 incredibly unique and different open-world games that manage to break the mold and deliver maps that truly stand out. Which of these unique worlds is your absolute favorite? Or, if you didn't agree with the list, what would your list look like?